Hello everyone, welcome back to Evie's Pets. Today I'm going to be making a video about how to care for your cat, or just a beginner's guide to having a cat. So let's get started. So if you're new to the channel, this is Milo, my cat, and he is about 4 years old. If you've been on the channel for a while, you've probably seen him. He is the star of the channel since the guinea pigs left. So yeah, he is not very happy to be here today. Usually he's a little more happy. You can see his little grumpy face. So yeah, usually he's a lot more happy to be on here, but hopefully he probably wants to go back to sleep, so I'll let him go back to sleep. You want to go back to sleep, buddy? Okay, so let's get this video. So since we're doing a cat care guide, I'm going to try to go through everything I can while making it kind of short. So if you want to see me go into more detail, you can look at my other videos, but right now we're just trying to cover the basics of cat care and owning a cat. Before you go out and get yourself a cat, or maybe you already have a cat, there's a lot of things you need to know before you start taking care of one properly. So kind of the three things that every animal needs, especially cats, are shelter, food, and enrichment. So those are kind of the three things that are the most important when keeping a cat, or the most important things to keeping it alive. Of course, there's other things you would add on, and food means watering too. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do for your cat, but those are kind of the three main things to keep it alive. And since we're just doing a basic care guide, I'm just going to go off of those three topics. So we're going to go ahead and start with shelter. And shelter is there's many ways to shelter your cat. So if your cat is an outdoor cat or an indoor cat, or maybe a mix of both, all of those things you have to provide some type of shelter. So outdoor cats, if you're going to keep an outdoor cat, you're going to want a cat house or a barn or a shed or something like that. And then if you're keeping an indoor cat, you won't really need much shelter, but you will need a lot of enrichment, which we'll talk about later. But yes, you will need somewhere for your cat to feel safe and hide. Even if he's protected, or he or she is protected from the elements, you still need somewhere where they can feel safe and have their own space. So what I have is just a cat tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you that. So if you're having an indoor cat, you still need some kind of place for them to go. So right now I am using a cat tree, and this just gives Milo, my cat, a safe place to feel secure, and he also has a lot of fun playing in it. You can see it's all ripped up. The cats just, they can go crazy sometimes. Actually, here he is right now, and his favorite thing to do in his cat tree is when I scratch at it. He really likes that. So he just goes crazy whenever I do that. Here, I can show you right here. So yeah, he's very excited. So this is a great place for him to play. He can climb, he can see all what he considers his territory. So yeah, it's a great place for him to have his own space. And even though it would never protect him from the elements, he's already in a safe place, and he feels very safe going into here and just having his own space. So yeah, then there's also, when you have a mix of outdoor and indoor cats, their safe place will kind of be the indoors, but then they can also go outdoors. So just make sure that if there is any bad elements, snow, rain, whatever, you bring your cat in when that happens. Sorry for the noise. My cat is trying to get at his treats. Nope. Oh, he's trying to push the camera over. Okay, hang on. Okay, I have to give him one. So yeah, cats can be very persistent creatures sometimes. Milo. Yeah, okay. Hopefully he'll stay happy now. You can't have any more, buddy. Alright, so yeah, sorry, where did I leave off? So yeah, if you're having an indoor-outdoor cat, just make sure you bring them in. If you don't have a cat house outside, make sure they're protected from the elements, and they'll probably need something indoors too if they are being brought in. So something like a cat tree or a cat house or cat hide or anything. So yeah, those are kind of the main things for just protection from the elements. Yeah, shelter, it's pretty simple for shelter. Cats really don't need much. They do pretty well. They're pretty sturdy animals, so you really don't need much for cat shelter, but it is important to give your cat a good shelter so that they can get away from the elements and creatures that want to hurt them. The next thing we're going to talk about is food and water. So food and water is important for any animal, and that goes for cats too. So food, I could go on and on about cat food, but I'm trying to make this video a little shorter, and it's just the basics. So cat food, there's a lot of good cat foods out there, and there's a lot of bad cat foods out there, and it's hard to know what's good and what's not so good. Once you learn, it's not very hard anymore, but it does take a lot of time to figure out what's best for your cat and what your cat needs, if it has a special needs cat or whatever. So I'm trying to just make this simple. The best way to do it is do as much research as you can on cat food. A great place to do some research on cat food is called All About Cats, and they have tons of in-depth cat reviews on different kind of cat foods, and they give them ratings and everything. So I'll link that in the description box below so that you guys can go there and just look around on there and try to find a cat food. It's really easy to navigate through it. So yeah, that's a great place. That's where I learned a lot about cat food, and I sometimes always go back there and look like, should I try this cat food or whatever? So yeah, it can be a little hard and tricky with cat food. In the beginning, I'd just say try to feed your cat whatever they were eating with their last owners or whatever, and then do your research and then move them to a better cat food as soon as you can. It's really important for cats to have a good diet to stay healthy. So my cat Milo eats a mix of wet food and dry food right now, and I feed him about twice a day. That is another thing that's important, is there is different types of cat food. Sorry, Milo's coming again. There is different types of cat food. So there's dry food, wet food. There's now raw food. So there's lots of different types. So you kind of have to figure out what you feel comfortable feeding. A lot of people just don't like the idea of feeding raw food, and I totally get it. I don't even feed raw food because it does get a little pricey sometimes. So yeah, really just kind of decide what you want. Just make sure that if you are just feeding dry food, that your cat has plenty of water, because it dehydrates cats very easily. So yeah, that's there's a lot more about cat food, but I'm just trying to make it simple. Sorry, my cat is going after a moth right now, so he really likes that. Yeah, he's having a lot of fun. So yeah, he is having lots of fun. So yeah, just getting a good cat food keeps your cat healthy, and maybe makes it less likely that your cat will ever have health problems and other things. So yeah, hopefully you can just find a good one. I'm going to try to make a video soon about cat food, good cat foods to pick. And I wish I could just say like, oh, this cat food is the best, but there's really no best cat food. It really just depends on your cat. So yes, there's lists that you can find that say like, oh, this one's the best, but you never really know until you try them. And there's a lot of bad information out there that says, some things are the best and they're really not. So just be careful what you look for, and try to stick with your own senses. But yeah, basically cats are carnivores, and find the one with the most meat, and that's pretty simple. For water, cats are pretty simple for water. You just leave out a water bowl. Make sure you clean it daily, and then you can wash the water bowl out weekly or whatever you want to do with that. But yeah, make sure your cat's water bowl is either glass or ceramic, because plastic bowls collect a lot of bacteria, and that can cause a lot of like chin and teeth problems on your cat. So the best thing to do, sorry, my cat's going after treats again. But yeah, the best thing to do is to get a glass or ceramic bowl. Sorry, that was Milo again. He is going crazy. So yeah, so best thing to do is get a glass or ceramic bowl, and make sure you fill it with clean, fresh water daily. Sorry about Milo. He is going nuts. But yeah, that's about it for like feeding and watering, and we're going to go on to enrichment. So a lot of people never think of enrichment as being really important, but when you have a cat, that is one of the most important things. It's almost as important as giving them good shelter and good food. So enrichment for cats is very important. If you think about it, cats were once wild animals, and they did a lot. They would hunt and do all sorts of things. Cats inside don't get the chance to do that, so they take out their hunting skills on other things like furniture or other pets in the house. So when you have a cat, you have to make sure you give them something enriching to do, and there's so many ways to enrich your cat. There's so many different things you can do for them, but I say the best ways are usually either finding a way to let them outside safely, and also playing with your cat. So you probably think, why would I suggest letting your cat outside. I just said I like indoor cats better. But it is important that your cat gets to explore outside a little bit, because as long as they're watched carefully. So I let Milo out every once in a while, and I either put him on a leash or watch him very closely. And it's important, if you do have an indoor cat, they don't quite they don't quite know what it's like to survive outside. So if you have an outdoor cat, you obviously don't need to watch it all the time, because they know how to do it. They know how to take care of themselves. But if you have an indoor cat that's never really experienced the outdoors, it's very likely they really don't know what to do. They don't know how to protect themselves. They don't really know what to do out there. So yes, they have some instincts, but you need to make sure they're being protected. So I like going out with my cat every once in a while and just keeping an eye on him and letting him out for 10 or 20 minutes. And you can do that with a leash, or you can just watch him, or you can also give him some kind of cage to sit outside in. So there's a lot of catios, that's what they're called. But yeah, your cat can basically sit outside in its own little cage and watch the birds or whatever. So the other type of enrichment is playing with your cat, so giving them indoor enrichment. If you don't feel like you want to take your cat outside, or maybe you don't have a yard or anywhere to take it to, or maybe it's just not safe out there, the other thing you can do is playing with them. So even if that's just playing with some string or paper towel rolls or whatever, you can also, there's tons of cat toys out there. Not all of them are safe, so watch out what you get for your cats. But there's so many cool cat toys out there for your cats, so you can get some of those and play with the cat. But cats really do like natural materials, so cardboard is one of their favorites. They also really enjoy sticks and leaves and grasses and other things like that. So that's a great way to enrich them, is just play with them, drag a string around or toss a stick, or even let them sniff something. So those are great ways to enrich them, or throw toy mice around or something like that. There's lots of ways to play with your cat. One way that a lot of people don't talk about, but I do like to do with my cat, and I don't know if every cat enjoys this kind of play, but my cat kind of enjoys some rough play, where he kind of likes when I kind of chase him a little bit. He gets very excited and frisky, especially at night. He just is desperate for me to chase after him. So it kind of sounds a little mean, but not all cats will enjoy that. But I've noticed that Milo really enjoys it. So I don't know if this is something that every cat likes to do, but I have experienced a lot of funny behavior with Milo, just wanting to physically play with me. So that's a fun way to do it. Make sure your cat's claws are clipped. A lot of people say, don't physically play with your cat because they'll learn to bite and scratch. And yes, that is true. But if you make sure your cat understands not to hurt you, if you know your cat well enough that they won't hurt you, I say try it, see if your cat enjoys it. I know Milo does. So yeah, those are kind of good ways to enrich your cat. Also, another way is put a seat by the window and they'll just sit and watch birds and whatever. There's lots of, even if you have a bad view, cats don't care. They just love watching stuff. So yeah, whatever you want to do, you can do all three of those things. You could just do one. But yeah, try to give your cat enrichment. It helps their brain a lot and their mental stimulation. They can get very nervous and scared, and without enrichment, they just get they're not as nice as they usually are. So yeah, you need to give them lots of enrichment, and that helps them not rip up your furniture so much. They won't have so many bad behaviors. They won't be so stressed out. They'll be a lot calmer and happier. So yeah, if you want your cat to be happy and calm the rest of its life, then definitely give it some enrichment. All right, so one thing I forgot to talk about a little bit was litter boxes and litter habits. So a lot of people have trouble with their cats not using the litter box, especially indoor cats. And this happens a lot because of stress. Cats just get scared, stressed out. They don't feel safe using the litter box. So make sure your cat feels safe and isn't stressed out, and hopefully everything will go okay. If you have a young kitten that maybe just learned, they might need a little bit of help. You might need to train them a little better. So yeah, I am not a litter box expert. I haven't had a lot of trouble with my cat Milo. He's really well potty trained, so I've never had trouble with this, so I haven't done a ton of research in this, but there is a lot out there on how to make sure your cat doesn't have any accidents on the carpet or floor or wherever. So there's a lot you can do to look into this. Again, I don't really know much about this, but I do know that if you keep their stress levels down, it's more likely they'll use it in the litter box. on that thought, there's a lot, like what litter, like there's a lot of different things out there. So there's two different kinds of litter boxes, enclosed and open. And I use an enclosed one because it kind of helps keep the odor in a little bit, and I don't want anybody going in and messing with the litter box. And also, some cats do feel safer in an enclosed litter box, I've noticed. It really depends on your cat. Some cats prefer to see their surroundings while they're using the bathroom, but other cats prefer to kind of stay hidden in there. So I've never tried a different litter box with Milo, but he seems to do fine with mine. So yeah, if your cat has a special preference, that's fine. Another big part of litter box behavior is putting your litter box in the right spot. Don't put it in a high traffic area because the cats will get really scared and probably not want to use the bathroom there because it's just too scary, too many people, too many noises. So try to put it in kind of like a hidden spot. I keep mine in the bathroom, and that seems to work well for me. But I have kept it in like other places before. So yeah, try to keep it in a low traffic area where your cat won't be bothered while they're trying to do their business. So yeah, make sure it's just a nice area that they can feel safe in. And then another thing is cat litters. There's so many different cat litters out there, and there's really no bad cat litters. They're all kind of made out of the same thing. So there's lots of different cat litters, and they all work differently. But probably the most recommended are the clumping litter. So that means when your cat uses the bathroom in it, the liquids make it clump up together so that you can come in with a scoop and scoop it right out. There's also non-clumping litter, which I have never really used it because I don't really think it doesn't really work very well for me. So I haven't done much research in that, but you can use that if you wanted to. That just means you have to replace the litter more often because you can't get out the droppings or whatever. So then there's also pine, like little pine pellets, and these are becoming more popular very quickly. It's a very cheap option, and I have never used them because I don't want my cat to be messed up. I just don't want him to think it's not a litter box because the pine smell, it's very strong, and so I don't know how he'd react to that. So yeah, if your cat has always been on pine, then I've heard it's really good, it's really easy to use, and it's really easy to clean up. But yeah, I've never used pine, so I don't know much about it. But basically what happens is when the liquids hit it, it kind of crumbles, and so there's special litter boxes that you get that it falls through to the bottom, and you just take out the tray, and you can go dump that out. So yeah, it's very economical, very easy to use. So yeah, I've never tried it before, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. So if you want to go for that, you could. And then there's all sorts of different litters too. There's newspaper litters that I have never tried, but they sound like they work. There's like different gel litters. There's all sorts of things. So probably the most, probably just to start, you would probably just want to use just regular clumping litter or the pine if your cat's been on it before, or maybe if you just want to try it. So yeah, those are kind of just litter box behaviors, what to use for a litter box. And I'm going to go ahead and show you my litter box and my litter setup. So this is kind of my setup for my cat Milo, and it is in a bathroom, which helps because there's not a lot of people coming in and out, so he's not too scared to go ahead and use the bathroom here. I do have his water bowl here, and I have his litter box. So like I said, it's an enclosed litter box. It's nice and easy to access because I can just lift off the top nice and easily and access it very easily. So I cleaned it for the purpose of this video, but your cat's litter box won't always stay like this clean. But yeah, basically, if you're trying to clean your cat's litter box with clumping litter, this is kind of how you do it. Basically, what happens is, I can just show it here. Whenever a little bit of liquid hits it, it kind of clumps up into some weird clumps, and then basically you can just go ahead and scoop it right out, and it stays right in your litter scoop, and then you have all the rest of the litter stays clean, and you have a little chunk that you can throw in a bag or whatever. So yeah, that's all there is to clean a litter box, and that's just my setup. I also feed him here because I find it very easy because it's kind of his space. Also, a lot of people have problems with their cat's tracking litter all over carpet or tile or whatever. And yes, that happens quite often. I have to sweep this once a day or so because the litter will just get all over the floor. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's really not many ways to stop it. You can get litter mats and things. They work, most of them work. I find it's easier. I just prefer to sweep it up after him. But yeah, if you want to, you can try litter mats, or there's litter boxes that claim that there will be no tracking. There's different kind of litters that are low tracking litters. So yeah, really, there's lots of different things you can do to prevent, but they'll probably still get a couple pieces here and there. So you just have to that's just part of owning a cat, is cleaning up some of the litter mess. So yeah, that's pretty simple. But yeah, that's about it for the setup. So yeah, that's about all the basics. There's so much more you can learn about cats. And if you are just getting a cat, or maybe you already have a cat, I really recommend going and doing all the research you can about cats. It's important that you give them a good home, and take the right care of them, and that will make them live longer and healthier lives. So yeah, that's about it for this video. If you want to see more about how to care for your pet cat, I've got lots of videos on my channel, and there should be lots more coming out this year, hopefully. So yeah, go ahead and go to my channel, or go and look on other places. I recommend some channels in my, if you scroll down in the homepage. So yeah, I will put link to the All About Cats channel and blog. Theirs is very good, but there's lots of other places you can get cat information. Just be careful where you get it from. There's a lot of people that don't have very good updated information, especially big companies that just don't care to change their ways. So yeah, be careful where you go, but yeah, the best way to do it is just look for the best cat care you can find. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the bell and the subscribe, and maybe hit the like button too. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.